Hello and welcome to the Amy
And Kyle.
Adventures podcast, also known as the AKA podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things mental health, marriage and cycling. Anything else to add, Kyle?
Not really, I think you got it all covered.
Thanks for that. Do you like my little intro?
Yeah, well done on that.
Thanks, I made it up myself. Wasn't very inventive.
Took you long.
You've made a rookie error because I can hear your phone buzzing.
Oh, best
Can we turn that on to...
not only silent, but non-buzz.
Non-buzz, that's it. First of all, we'd like to start off with an apology because I know last time we did a podcast was quite a while ago and I think we ended it saying we'll see you next week and then we haven't done one since.
But it's been a busy time.
It's been a really busy time, so sorry about that. But we are now committing to weekly podcasts and it's something that we hope we're going to keep up while we cycle around the world so that we can keep you updated on what's going on. Because we only have, I think, 15 weeks until we go.
Not long.
1st of May. Also, background noise, if you can hear anything, it's our dog, Chester, walking around.
Your little footsteps.
He always seems to come to life as soon as we start recording a podcast, every single time.
He looks like he's enjoying a good chin stroke
He's
there.
having a chin stroke and he's wagging his tail and he's looking at me with puppy eyes, even though he's not a puppy. But anyway, we thought we'd literally do these podcasts to give you little updates on how the training's going for around the world, but also just on what we've been up to, really, because... Well, it's probably not. I was going to say it might be interesting. I don't think it is, but, you know, some people might listen.
Some people like to know what we've been up to, don't they?
Oh, I don't know who. Maybe my mum. My mum might be listening. Hi, Mum.
Hi, Kay.
Maybe my sister. Hi, Beth, and hi, Molly. But yeah. And also, you know, it gives me and Kyle a bit of time to sit down and actually talk to each other.
You make it sound like we don't talk to each other.
I mean, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because we talk to each other all the time.
Yeah,
but we spend most of our time on the bike together, don't we?
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's not proper conversation, is it? It's just me going, Kyle, can you slow down a bit?
Or where should we stop for lunch?
Yeah.
Which is the question I usually like.
How far's the cafe?
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought we'd start off this new series, I guess, with who we are and why we cycle. But we will include our usual... Chester! Oh my jeez, he just trod on the laptop. Chester, please don't tread on the laptop again. Sorry about that.
It's trying to get to me.
We'll still do the usual moan minute, blip of the week, and mental health tip. We'll always keep them in. But today, we're a bit different. We're not going to give you an update on what we've been doing. We're just going to talk about, for anyone that doesn't know, who we are, a bit about us, and why we are going to cycle around the world this year, starting on the 1st of May. So, Kyle, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You start and I can follow your template.
Okay, thanks for that. It says Amy's iPhone disconnected since Chester's trod on the laptop.
No, it said that before.
Oh, we don't need that anyway. That's fine. I have got the microphones working now as well.
Yeah.
Because majority of last year's podcast, we had microphones on talking into them, but they weren't actually connected to the laptop. No. So it wasn't ideal. Anyway, yeah, so I started cycling, was it 2021? Yeah.
I always forget the year.
I think it was 2021. And I was working as a mental health nurse, basically. I didn't always want to be a mental health nurse. I just decided to go into that job because I really enjoyed psychology when I did my A-levels. And while I was doing my A-levels, my younger sister developed an eating disorder, anorexia. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. We're not going to cry today, and I wasn't about to, but it sounded like I was. So I think I was eating too much peanut butter. Sorry, I've just had peanut butter on toast and it's sticking in my throat.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I decided to be a mental health nurse. So I wanted to help people like my sister, basically. So I went to uni in Nottingham. Shout out to the Notts uni people. And I absolutely hated it, to be honest. I met Kyle while at uni, didn't I?
You did.
Not
I
at
think
uni.
You was in your second year.
I was in my second year. We met on Tinder.
Maybe third year, actually.
He swiped right and so did I. Best decision of your life.
Yours?
No, yours. His chat up line was...
We don't need to bring this up.
On Tinder, he wrote to me, my granddad always said to aim high, so here it goes.
No, it reeled you in though, didn't it?
Reeled me in and we went to Nando's in the cinema.
You thought, well, that's different.
But when you met me, I wasn't really very well. When I was at uni, I developed an eating disorder myself, which I was in denial about for a very long time because obviously seeing my sister go through what she went through, I just didn't think it would happen to me. Obviously wanting to work as a nurse, I kind of thought, how am I going to help people if I'm not right myself? So I kind of dealt with it by my own a lot. I mean, when I met you, I was not good.
No.
When we used to go out for dates, I used to not really want to eat and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, I kind of got through it, but never really fully got better. And even working as a nurse, I probably wasn't right myself with my eating, but I'm very good at putting a mask on, and I managed to sort of get through it. And I think I did do a good job. I mean, people told me I did, but I don't
No,
really like...
you were very good at your job.
I don't really like saying that. But yeah, the team I was in, I worked with young people with eating disorders, and, you know, my manager was always really happy with me. They were always wanting me to... talking about how I could get promoted and all of this stuff and do more and more. But when lockdown hit, although I did like parts of my job, it kind of gave me the realisation that it wasn't the right job for me. I used to come home and just overthink and worry about the people I worked with and just not be able to switch off. But I didn't really want to admit that I was struggling because I felt like a failure. And I felt like I'd been at uni for 4 years and I didn't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. Even at uni, when I met you, I didn't like it, did I? And I kept thinking I want to leave my degree, but I felt stuck in it. And yeah, it was really hard. And it got to a point where basically I had a complete breakdown, which I can now see in more of a positive light, because if that didn't happen, I would never have started cycling. But at the time, it was awful and I'd never ever want to go through that again. But at that time, before leaving my job, Kyle randomly came home with a little Carrera from Halfords. And I didn't ask for a bike. I hadn't been on a bike for 10 years. I used to run a lot, but it wasn't a very healthy relationship. So I used to run basically to burn off food and things like that, which was really unhealthy. Now, I can say, fast forward, I've got a very good relationship with food and exercise. I eat mainly what I want and I don't really worry about it too much. I can eat at cafes, I'm a healthy weight and all of that, so that's all good. But it's taken a long time to get there, and the bike definitely helped teach me to fuel my body properly. So yeah, Kyle came home with this bike and I was a bit surprised. I didn't expect it at all. What kind of went through your head when you bought it?
I don't even know how it came about. Maybe that I thought because your dad cycles and you wanted to be outside. And that's about it, really.
What
and I thought, she's going to be really impressed with this present.
Well, when you went to the Halfords, what did you say? Did you know what you were looking for?
A women's bike.
Is that what you said?
A women's road bike. And that was the only one left.
Really?
Not the only one left, but that was the only women's specific road bike, because I didn't know anything about bikes. Didn't know anything about sizing, which we later found out that it's completely the wrong size.
It was too small.
We had to put the stem, because on this particular bike you could put the stem up at an angle.
So my handlebars were angled right off, I remember.
So we made it fit.
Yeah.
And you did a lot of riding on it, so...
So when you went to Halfords, did you have to ask the staff to help you?
Not really, it was quite easy actually.
What,
it's the last one on the shelf and I was like, I want that.
You just looked at all the labels?
No, I just looked at that with pink and black bike, Carrera. I knew that was a relatively good brand. From my very minimal knowledge of bikes. When I was younger, I thought Carreras were really expensive, so that'd be good. And yeah, just went, yeah, can I have that? Bought it, put it in the van.
Bought it home?
Bought it home and I was really impressed with it. And I thought, yeah, she's going to be really happy with it. It's a really cool road bike. And you did love that bike, actually.
I did love that bike, and I've still got it in the garage. It's got a massive saddle on it.
A buckled wheel.
And way too small. But yeah, the first time I went out was with my dad. At that time, I was really, really struggling with intrusive thoughts. I got to a point where I had to leave my job because I kept getting really horrible thoughts about something bad was going to happen, and you couldn't really have a normal conversation with me, to be honest, because I was just so ingrained in these thoughts of something at work's going to go wrong, it's going to be my fault, I'm going to get struck off the nursing register. It just kind of spiraled to like these stupid thoughts that were so unrealistic, but in my own head, they were so real. And it was really scary. And I didn't really speak to many people about it other than my very close friends and family. I didn't have social media at this point. I didn't want anyone to take my photo. I didn't want anyone to know I existed, to be honest. And I felt like an absolute weirdo. I can remember ringing the doctors and being like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't keep going on like this. You forced me to go to the doctors, didn't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to leave my job because I wasn't right myself, and I can't help other people when I'm like that. And when I did get better, I realised that nursing was never the right job for me. I never say never, maybe in the future, but for me it just wasn't. And I got on that bike and I went out into the Peak District, and it was one of the only times pushing up hard, steep climbs with my dad, who dragged me out on these rides. I had no clue where we were. He planned the route and I followed him with his
suffered more
with his paper map. He's an old school cyclist, doesn't wear lycra, he doesn't have cleats, but we just went on these rides. The first ride he took me on was 45 miles, bearing in mind I'd not ridden for years, up all these hills. But because it was hard and I was going up these horrible hills and, grinding the gears like I always do, I didn't really know how to change gear at that point, I don't think. I think that's probably why I've got such a low cadence now, because I just always have ridden with a low cadence. But because I couldn't breathe properly, like, you're pushing, all you can think about is getting to the top of the hill. When you're pushing so hard or you're finding it hard, you can't have any other thoughts in your head, because all you can do is focus on your breathing and on getting up to the top. And it just was the only time where I was like not thinking about the worries that have been so horrible, like 24/7, waking up in the night all day, every day. As soon as Kyle got home from work, I was telling him, I'm not going to get struck off the register, am I? Nothing bad's going to happen, is it? Like, constantly seeking reassurance from everyone around me. And I went out on the bike and I was like, whoa, like my head isn't thinking about that for this one climb. Then I'd be freewheeling and it'd be back again. But eventually, after months and months and months, I did get better. I did have counselling, but the bike has played a massive role in that. And I think as well, because it was something that wasn't unhealthy. I wasn't riding because I wanted to burn anything off. I wasn't riding because I felt like I had to. I was riding because I wanted to and because it made me feel happy. And I'm just so grateful for you, Kyle, for A, being there for me through that time, because there was a lot of moments that were probably really hard to be with me. And B, that you got me that bike, because, yeah, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be riding it. And I don't know what I would have done if you didn't buy me that bike.
Yeah. But just to point out, I wasn't perfect in that time either. So it was all new to me dealing with how you were beaten. I didn't have any clue how to deal with it. I'd never experienced anything like it before. Like I said, I came from a difficult upbringing, but completely different to what I saw as mental health issues. And I've never had to deal with it for someone that I love. So then I wasn't always perfect. I made mistakes. I got annoyed. I got angry, because it is frustrating. So for anyone that's like supporting someone else, don't be hard on yourself when you think, oh, I'm not dealing with it very well, or I'm not really helping them because I'm getting annoyed. Because there's no easy way of doing it. You are going to get annoyed. You are going to have arguments or fallouts because you're talking to someone that's not right. And yeah, I always think of that. Like, I remember at the time being like, oh, I'm not being particularly always that good. But then looking back, I was pretty good. It was just in the time, you don't know how, no one knows how to deal with, and every situation is different. So
Yeah, and I definitely say, like, the person that is supporting, like, the person that you are supporting that's unwell, sometimes they will be horrible to you. I can remember times when I shouted at you and, got angry at you.
But then,
But you don't mean it, and you are, even if you don't show, like, I didn't always show Kyle that I was really appreciative of him. I think I did as much as I could, but there was obviously moments where I was so low, because after I got over the intrusive thoughts, it then all hit me that, oh my God, I've left my job. I'd spent 4 years at uni, only 3 years as a nurse. What the hell am I going to do now? No one's going to employ me. I'm a failure. I'm ugly. I'm fat. All these horrible, the eating disorder was still there a little bit, and it was just, I kind of got to this point where I was like, well, what's the point? Like, there's no point in being here because I'm a failure. Like, I'm a burden on Kyle. I'm a burden on my family. Like, I got really, really low. And there was days when I just, the only thing I'd go out the house for was to walk the dog, really, and go on my bike. That was my motivation to get out. But if not, I'd just be moping around and no fun to be around at all. And Kyle would say, what's up? And I don't know what's up. So then I'd be like, well, I don't know. If I knew what was up, I wouldn't be like this, would I? And, it's kind of like, sometimes in the heat of the moment, I'd say things to Kyle that I didn't mean. And I think it's really, really hard. And then you'd say things to me that you didn't mean, like,
course,
just cheer up and stuff. And, and then I'm like, well, I can't. I wish I could.
Or you'd say things like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, because you get to a point where you're trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
Some people are better at sporting than others. And I mean, I don't think I was always the best.
No, you were really good.
But everyone deals with things in different ways.
And I also think it's really important as well, like, if you can, as the person supporting, get some help. Like, go to a support group, go to an online group. There's loads of online groups you can go to with Mind and different charities, Shout, that we raise money for, where you can get support as somebody that's a carer as well, because it affects your mental health as well as, like, it definitely affected your mental health as well as mine, because it is hard to see someone that you love going through something. I mean, I knew that from when my sister was ill. Like, there was nothing I could do or say to her that would make her better. and that was the hardest thing, and it's probably the same for you, I don't know, but the thing is with mental illness is it is really hard, and like for me getting better, it had to come from me. Like I did get help obviously from counselling, and I had a really good family, which is so like I'm so grateful for that, because people struggling without any support network, I don't know how they do it. Like I'm so lucky to have you, Kyle, and my family, but the thing is for me is I only got better when I really put the work in, especially with my eating disorder. There's no way I was getting better from that until I said, right, I want to get better, because that took so much self will and determination, going to cafes and eating meals when I was crying my eyes out, and this voice in my head telling me, you know, you're fat, you're ugly, don't eat that. It's like, it's just unbearable in your head, but you have to get through it and you have to do it. And I think it is really hard, but you can get better. And like, I am so happy that I did get better and that we can do this together, because yeah, I think it's a long road to get better, and maybe it always is with you a little bit. Like I don't think I'd like to say like my mental health will be good always, but it won't always be good. Like it will never get as bad as it was before, because I won't let that happen, because I now know to get help.
I don't think anyone on this planet can say my mental health's always going to be good.
Exactly.
It's not. It's unheard of.
No. But I think we all struggle at different times, and that's okay. But it's about, like for me, I didn't get help when I should have done. I knew I was struggling, but I didn't get help, and I left it too long. But yeah. And then you started cycling, didn't you?
I did. More out of jealousy of you going out all day. Not for my own mental health. I didn't start riding for mental health. I started riding because you were doing it a lot. I was playing a big supporting role in, I don't know, taking you to some places, and
It used to drive me to like Audaxes and stuff.
yeah, like sometimes, like I remember your first 400k, I sort of drove all day and through the night and stuff to make sure you were okay.
You were very good.
Not to support, but just to be there if anything went wrong, because I cared. So yeah, then I got jealous and I thought, well, let's dip my toes in this world. And my first dip of the toes was not very good, really. I did the
Why?
same 50-mile treatment that Amy got.
Oh yeah, you came on a ride with me and Dad.
With you and your dad. And I remember I think I was on your mum's bike, to be honest, with a massive bag on the back. I remember that, because we were carrying like soup and beers, believe it or not.
Yeah, because Dad had the Trandra and tins of soup with him.
And then I remember going up this is why I hate the Weavers. And we went up the Weaver Hills, which to me was like a mountain at the time. And
It's
I remember
like a hill in Derbyshire, basically. No, Staffordshire.
Staffordshire.
Yeah.
Near the peaks. Well, it is the peaks still, isn't it? And I ended up walking up most of it.
And swearing.
And a lot of swearing, profanities. And then eventually when we got to this little brook, and we sat and had soup and had a couple of beers, and then I was happy again, but it was a really hard day and I swore I'd never ride again.
You were walking up the hill and you were like, this is horrible.
I was thinking, how is this fun?
It was me and Dad were laughing at you.
You were, a lot. And then that made me more upset.
Yeah, but then you like grew to love it like me, and then we just both really got into endurance. So we started off with Audaxes, which is the Long Distance Cycling Association, which is basically where you can do like 200, 300, 400, even 600.
You did them first, didn't you?
1,200 kilometre rides. We've heard about Paris Brest Paris, which is a 1,200 kilometre ride from Paris to Brest and back, which only happens every 4 years. So we did that in 2023 together. So that was really good. That was our first real big thing, I think. No, I did the 24-hour time trial before that, didn't I? I did it like 3 weeks before, remember?
Oh, yeah, because
I was
everyone was saying maybe it's not a good idea to do that.
That was fine.
And then other people said it might be a good warm-up.
I think it was a good warm-up. So yeah, 24-hour time trial, which is where you ride your bike for 24 hours without stopping. We both did that in 2024.
But you medalled the first year, you did it?
And the second, actually. And then after that, we just carried on riding far, really. We rode back from Italy to home in Derby. And then last year I did the Tour de France men's route plus the transfers in between. So yeah, we kind of just fell in love with the long distance, and somehow my Instagram and YouTube grew in the process. So I didn't start YouTube or Instagram. I think I'd been cycling maybe a year or something, but I was much better with my mental health. And the reason I started the Instagram first, was because I wanted to help people that maybe felt like me, not to give up on life, because I was so close to, there were some days where I didn't feel safe really to be on my own. So I wanted to do something to hopefully inspire people that maybe struggle, that you can get through it, and it does take hard work, but it's definitely worth it, and the world is basically better with you in it and not to give up.
Mm.
And yeah, I just wanted to help people really, but I never ever thought that it would grow and that it would become my job. So, because I did go back into the NHS in finance and I did a finance qualification. I was there for like 2 years, but then last year I decided to leave my job and just do the cycling. I'm very lucky to have brands that support us. We started on Carrera, now we're on a Pinarello. Started from the bottom, now we're here. And yeah, it's just crazy and it doesn't feel real. And when I'm sat here thinking about it, it's like when you actually think about it, it's like, what the actual hell?
Yeah, it's been a bonkers few years.
It has. And like I went for a sports massage today, and while I was in pain, while he was literally digging his knuckles into my quads and my calves and saying, "Oh, you're a bit tight," I was thinking, "Yeah, I blooming feel it, mate." He was asking me what I do and stuff, and I was like, "Well, funnily enough, I'm basically like, I don't really know how to say it, but basically just do like YouTube and Instagram and ride my bike." And he was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. Like, it's a dream job." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And it's like, but it's so weird. Like, how did that happen to me? I do not know.
A lot of hard work went into that.
And a lot of hard work goes into it behind the scenes, but it's so, like, it's just amazing. And yeah.
And you're unfortunate that what happened to you, but you're also fortunate in the way that you got better from it and you can tell that story.
Yeah. Like, I'd never ever want to go through that again. It was awful. And I think that's partly the reason why I'm good at riding far, because no matter what pain I'm in on the bike, it's never as bad as that. Ever, ever, ever. Like, I'd rather have, I don't want to jinx this, but I'd rather ride around the world with saddle sore than go through that again, because that was
I wouldn't
horrid.
be saying that.
But hopefully I'm not going to get saddle sore when we go
That
around the
was
world.
an awful thing to say.
Don't worry, I've touched wood.
No.
Touching Carl's head.
That worries me.
There is some wood there.
Like
Can I touch that fake wood?
Yeah.
Pass me it. I'm scared now.
You can't reach it.
You can touch it for me. I'll touch you and you touch it, and then I've basically touched it. But let's be honest, saddle sore probably might happen around the world with riding for a long way.
But yeah.
But if it does, maybe we could like take a little pillow to sit on underneath. Put it on down your bib shorts.
Well, we've learnt a lot of things since those days,
But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of who we are. Wait, you've not spoken a bit much about you. What about your schooling career? Your profession. I've just talked about my university nursing.
Mine's very simple, really. Went to school, got an apprenticeship, worked, and here I am, still working. Do you want a bit more where I grew up?
Well, you haven't actually told. I mean, people might know, but you've just said got an apprenticeship. People don't know what that is.
Right, so basically, I was born in Mansfield, Nottinghamshire.
Can you give your postcode out as well and your number?
People, it's not something I normally tell people, to be honest. Then I moved to Skegness and lived there for 12 years. I was the first one in my family to actually pass my exams and go to Skegness Grammar School. Left Skegness in 2009, moved to Boston due to family circumstances. I finished my schooling in Boston, and in year 11, I wasn't so good at school. I was a bit misbehaved. There was an advert put into the school by Ray Sellers Building, who was the company that I worked for. And
shout out to Ray Sellers, I'm sure he's listening.
Well, it was
you're going into a lot of detail here.
Big part of my life.
Didn't expect
not as much detail of what you've just been into.
Sorry, but I didn't expect a geography map of where you live.
Anyway, I didn't know what to say really. So yeah, got an apprenticeship in bricklaying, and the company that I worked for was actually a general builder. So even though the apprenticeship was in bricklaying, we had to learn to do a bit of everything, which was a blessing really, because then when I moved to Derby when I was 18,
it means that you can plaster our house.
It means, later down the line when I'm at Amy, it means that I get lumbered with all the jobs. So yeah, so I'm a bricklayer. Just turned 30 actually.
Big 3-0.
Big 3-0. It's getting old.
The bricklayer, but he does work for himself, so it does mean he can cycle around the world with me.
And I've been very fortunate in the last year to get more involved with the cycling things. And
when I started the YouTube, you weren't that keen on being on it. If anyone's listening, you've not watched, go to
probably not always.
My first few videos, like my first probably at least the first 10 or even the first year of videos or half year. You never wanted to be on it, and you were so
usually because I used to suffer.
A bit grumpy and stuff on them, even more grumpy.
People still call me grumpy now.
You are though.
The amount of people that have met me on the road and been like, "Oh, you're not even that grumpy."
You're only grumpy with me because I'm your wife, so they're not going to see like what I see.
Yeah, but for all the men out there that get nagged by the wife, you know what I mean.
Hey, no, I think you're just grumpy in the morning, and obviously I'm not filming all day. So if you're grumpy with me, and you know when I'm filming. You're still grumpy.
I still get comments on videos now saying, need to get rid of that miserable one behind you. I was thinking, hold on, that's the happiest I've been in ages.
It's because when I did a video and Calpia had the camera and I was like, you're right, Kyle, you're behind me. And you can see the camera, you're like, no, I'm too cold. I was like, oh, okay. Really mardy.
Yeah, but the people that are probably calling me miserable probably never had a camera put in their face
No.
when they're absolutely freezing cold.
Can I just say there is consent in this?
There is consent.
I'm not filming you.
No, but what I'm saying is,
we like to show the full picture.
They don't get filmed when they're freezing cold. I'd like to see their reaction.
And also, anyone that thinks, yeah, you are a bit grumpy, I will admit. You are. You have to admit, sometimes you are quite grumpy.
I think everyone's got mood changes.
That's why I call you Grumpelstiltskin. But I feel like, you know, if it was like in a club ride and you were feeling like that and someone said, you're right, Carl, you wouldn't say, no, I'm too cold to them. But because I'm your what? No, you wouldn't.
I have done in the past.
You would not say that. Let's say we're riding with Jimmy. You wouldn't say it in the same tone as you say it to me. And I'm saying that's normal. Like, I'd have a go at you, but I wouldn't have a go at my best friend. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that's maybe not healthy, but you do that with you. Because with your husband and your wife, or your wife and your wife, or your husband and husband, whatever, you are like so comfortable. You can just, you know, it's normal to get mardy. So I think the YouTube, like, we show everything because it's normal. And anyone that says, you know, you shouldn't be arguing like that, well, I'm sorry, but I've never met a couple that don't argue.
And the funny thing is, we don't even argue that much, so it does make me laugh a bit when people say...
We do, like, bicker a bit, but that's fine, it's how we are.
Yeah, but it goes back to the thing of you seeing a snapshot of the whole 8-9 hour ride.
Yeah, on a 9-hour ride, you cannot go.
And Amy likes to involve them bits because she likes to keep it real.
Yeah, I like to keep it real. And
we could polish it and not put them bits in. You think we'd never argue then? That wouldn't look very good.
No, it wouldn't. You can make it look how you want. I could just put all the negative in and then no positive and make it look like we hate each other. But also, I think we are quite sarcastic and we are quite like...
yeah, I don't think people always
sometimes
understand.
People don't understand when we're like having a dig at each other. It's a joke.
Yeah, there's been a few cases of that.
Because I don't know what it is.
Where we're laughing.
I'm like, oh, your hair looks like a bird's nest. And like, that's obviously a joke, but it's kind of true as well. But I'll say it to you because it's funny. And you don't get offended by that, but like, it's kind of like a bit of
I remember when...
But then someone thinks I'm being really mean to you.
But to put that in context, I remember when I first got with Amy, I think I always remember the first time she called me an idiot. And I was a bit like, what did you just call me? Because I wasn't used to being that, but then you get used to it because that's just our way of talking to each other.
But my family, we always call each other idiots.
Yeah, no, but unless you're from used to that.
Yeah. Like my mum and dad, like me, my mum, dad's sisters, were always like, oh, you idiot.
Because I was really offended when you said it to me. I was like, what?
But it's not offensive to us.
It's not offensive to me now.
Like, I always call my sisters an idiot, but not like, it's just, I think different families have different, like, ways of talking to each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't always call each other an idiot, but like, if you, like, you know, oh, you idiot, you've put that over there. It's not like that offensive.
Also.
But we don't swear.
Can you spare a thought for me tomorrow? Because I have a massage after work.
Oh.
And I've not been for a massage.
Who have you booked it with?
Holly.
Oh, she goes deep.
Yeah, but I've not been for a massage in over a year.
Kyle?
And
that's
obviously
really bad.
I had my injury and
you're going to be
super tight.
You're basically going to be metal, your legs are, like the Tin Man.
Literally, they feel so... They
well,
hurt,
I have Holly when I go sometimes, and she actually massages for the men's football team.
Derby?
County? No, I think it's one in Nottingham or something. Not Nottingham Forest, but
County?
No, I don't know, Kyle. I don't know the specifics. Okay. She does it for a uni team or something. I don't know. But she is really good, but she does go deep. But today I had a different man I'd never had before, and he was very, honestly, one of the most, like, chippy, what do you say, chippy?
Chipper.
I don't really know.
Happy,
that chippy man. I don't know
chippy,
if
that's...
I think I made that up.
Like a joiner.
Okay,
chipper.
Well, he was very chipper, very, like, sprightly. He was lovely, he was, and he's a rock climber. He was talking about that. And I was like, what the hell? And he said, oh, yeah, well, it was because I was talking about cycling to him. And he said, oh, I suppose there's risk with cycling on the road. I was like, yeah. But I'm not going to fall to my death if I make the wrong move, am I? On climbing up a rock face.
They're a strange bunch, these rock climbers. They've got...
But he did say, though, with the rock climbing, it's only as dangerous as you make it, which I suppose is true. He's never had any issues apart from breaking his collarbone 3 times. And he's had to have an operation on it. And then his mate fell from a height because apparently they do it in twos. And the person he was paired up with, he didn't really know very well, and they dropped him.
That's right.
And he fell 10 foot or something. And he's got life-changing injuries. I was like, right, I'm not going to do rock climbing.
I always think, I've met quite a few rock climbers, and I do think they're a strange bunch because they're all very, like you say, chipper. they've got nuggets of steel and
What does that mean?
the cojones.
Oh, okay.
And
The tat-tats.
but they're up at the crack of dawn, chipping away, like, just being happy. And you're thinking,
Well, where have you met them?
I've met quite a few rock
What, on the building
climbers.
site?
Yeah.
What job do they do?
Well, builders.
Scaffolders, climbing up it.
No, they're usually down the
What?
pub.
What, they're doing bricklaying?
Well, like some general building stuff, I've met quite a few people that done rock climbing.
Yeah, but maybe you should take on some of their happiness in the morning.
Maybe because we've got strong wrists.
Because when we go around the world, you're going to be having to get up at 5 a.m. every day.
No, I just need to be left alone for the first hour or two.
But that's not very nice to me.
Yeah, but I'm always nice to you after the 2-hour cooling off
Yeah,
period.
but I have to get up in complete silence.
Maybe it's hard for me, you being so chipper. You never thought about reverse the role.
Well, I don't be chipper because I get told off, so I sit in silence and feel miserable. And then at the end of the day, I feel really upset about that.
You don't, because I'm usually energetic by the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm not.
No.
Because I don't like the night.
We're opposites in that way.
We are. I'm sleepy at night. No, you don't really like the night either.
I do.
You went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. Every night you're like, oh, should we go to bed now? So I look at the clock and I'm like, it's 9 o'clock, you old 80-year-old grandpa.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm just a day person.
So you basically don't like the night or the morning.
But I don't get grumpy at night.
I like the morning, but I don't really like the night.
Yeah, but I never get grumpy at night. I don't.
You do sometimes.
I don't. I'm far more a night person.
You're grumpy now and it's the night.
Only because you're winding me up.
You were a bit grumpy when you got in from work today.
I wasn't. You was actually being quite difficult.
I was not.
Yes, you are.
No, I was a bit tired when you got
Yeah,
in.
exactly. So who was?
Because I just had a sports massage and then I had lots of editing to do by a deadline. And I didn't have enough time.
She says I was grumpy. As soon as I pulled up on the drive, I was wiggling my fingers after waving at her.
Yeah, you were.
And then I came in and went on
and then I got annoyed because you left mud all over the floor. That's why I was grumpy.
That was from this morning. I had to put a wheelbarrow in
You
my van.
pulled right. I'm sorry. If you're if you live in a household with a builder, you'll understand the amount of mud and grit. This morning I got up, having my porridge. I made you avocados and eggs on toast. Actually,
I was actually very surprised.
made it ready for him when he came down.
I was actually really happy this morning.
I know you
I
were.
wasn't even grumpy.
Yeah, because I made you eggs and avocado on toast.
I gave you a little kiss before I went to work.
You did, but then that soon changed because as I was eating my porridge, I thought, "What's that sound?" Turned round, there's a wheelbarrow being wheeled through the kitchen and the hall.
I lifted it through.
Well, you didn't lift it very well because there's mud everywhere.
No, I lifted it to the front door and then put it down.
A wheelbarrow should not be allowed inside a house.
It was a one-off because currently I don't have access to my back garden.
Well, that's because you've put all loads of stuff down the side.
Which is going to get removed via a skip shortly.
Yeah, because
pending.
Because that would be quite nice actually. Because I would quite like to be able to walk down the side of my house.
To put this in context, I've done a lot of work to this house, and we've had many skips.
I think this will be the
penultimate.
At least, no, penultimate. You mean ultimate?
No, it's penultimate. The one before
Ultimate's
the last.
the one before the last.
Oh Christ! No, this is the ultimate.
Yeah, the
final.
Finale. This is the final skip I'm having because the amount of money we've spent on skips.
I worked it out. It's a lot.
Probably would have been cheaper to actually buy a new car and take it all in the new car to the actual skip.
I mean, what it would cost you in fuel as well, so that's not a good way of looking at it.
Okay, well, I'm saying we're in the double digits of skips, and in the 20s, I'd say.
No.
Yes.
What, in the whole time we lived here?
Yes.
Yes, in the whole
in
time.
7 years, we've had about. Let's times it by more than 2 a year.
Can I just point something out? Actually, you are close, because doing the kitchen alone, I've had 10.
10 skips. That's £2,000.
And the rest.
How much are they each?
The big one's like £340 each.
£3,000 on skips.
Over a long period.
Yeah, but you don't realise when you're spending it all like that. Spread out.
Yeah, because it's spread out.
Jeez.
But it is cheaper than getting it rid another way.
Whack me in the skip.
All I will say is the skip companies have got it good. I'm thinking of going into that business.
We might need another skip at the end around the world to turf us out in. Just whack us in there when we get back and send us the tip.
The point being, anyway, back to the wheelbarrow is I've got one more last load of stuff to get rid of, and then we're basically going to have nothing left because we've chucked it all away.
You're not bringing stuff for the skip through the house in the wheelbarrow, are you?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Absolutely not.
What's left to go in the skip? Oh, stuff out the back garden.
Just less building waste. Because apparently you can't take building waste to the tip now.
Yeah, you can't take building waste to the tip. It's ridiculous. You can't take hardly anything to the tip.
And
you can't go in a van either.
In certain counties, you have to have a permit and you can still take building waste, but in Derbyshire, you cannot. Well, Derby.
In Derbyshire, you have to pay for a skip.
They will not let you take building waste, so then it begs a different. What do you do with your building waste then?
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, then you're forced to buy a skip.
Yeah.
So the skip companies have got
Because
it good.
basically we've extended our kitchen. That's where all the rubble's come from, and we had to. You had to dig all the footings and all that. So there's a lot of.
I've just got a
wastage.
little bit of more, few little jobs.
A little
left
bit
to
of
do.
more.
Yeah,
I like that little.
I've got a few more little jobs to do.
Got a little bit of more.
Bit of landscaping and
No,
rubbish
what do you mean
clearance.
landscaping? We're going around the world.
No,
in
he didn't
15
like
weeks.
just finish the pack.
No, Kyle. You need to chill out. I'm being serious now. You
Give me the
can't
stern
work.
look.
No, you can't. And people listening will agree. You can't work 5 days a week as a builder and then also be trying to do a landscaping project.
Training's my main priority.
What's the point of landscaping the garden? It's all going to
No,
die
when
when
I
we
say
go around the
landscape,
world.
that was the wrong word.
Yeah.
Lay a few more slabs, stop chest of getting dirty.
Okay, you can do that.
That's the easy stuff.
Because there's absolutely no point doing anything to the garden because when we're going to be away from, hopefully, 1st of May we set off and we want to be home by the end of September. Mm-hmm. Basically, when we come back, the garden's going to be a jungle.
Oh yeah, I'm not bothering with the grass.
The grass is going to probably be up to the fence.
And we will need a new shed by that point.
You will need a severe mow. Both the grass and us.
More of a hack.
The grass and us, because I'm not planning on taking a razor around the world. That's extra weight that I don't
might
need.
take a beard trimmer.
You will not be taking a beard trim around the world.
No, because I thought about this quite a lot actually recently.
Yeah.
Because that way I can shave my head and my face.
Why don't you just shave it before you go and then see how much it grows?
No,
It won't grow that much in 5 months, will it? By the way, I am going to take a razor
for
my legs.
5 months?
Because a razor's really small, so I'm just going to shave my legs while we go.
Probably,
probably my armpits.
I dread think how long my beard would be after 5 months.
We'll find out, won't we?
Well, I shaved this literally 2 days ago.
Oh, it's already grown. I think you should just leave it and find out what it looks like when we get back. You look like because you'll look like a proper, you know those really cool adventure cyclists. You look like one of them.
Won't be.
You'll look like one of them.
I'll look like one, but won't be.
Yeah, and then you'll be riding along singing "No rest for the wiki, wiki, wiki,
I
wiki,
won't be
wiki."
singing that at all.
No shaving for the wiki, 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 wiki.
Something wrong with it.
When we go around the world, I'm gonna make up loads of different songs and just annoy you with
Well,
them.
we need to move on because we'll be here all night.
Okay, right.
We're just chatting, waffling now.
Sorry, but I do think when we go around the world, you should not shave your beard just to see what it's like. Also, you do get quite long eyebrows, so you could see how long they grow as well. Because I have to trim your eyebrows, don't I?
I once did an Audax with Stevie, who also has a tandem world record for around the world. And I remember going up this climb with him, and I kept saying to him, I said, I can see something in my eye. What is this in my eye? And we got to the top, and he looked, and it was two massively
You've got them now.
Same one, didn't it?
Yeah.
2 massively long eyebrows, and it was in my vision.
Massive. You could probably plait your. Yeah, there's a massive one there. Why are they so long? I'm gonna have to cut them for you. I'm gonna have to cut them for you again tonight.
It's because I've turned fit.
To be fair, we will have nail scissors with us because we will have to trim our nails and things. And also, nail scissors are always really good to have. You need little scissors, no tweezers for thorns.
No, but you can do it.
But you need little scissors because things like cutting rope.
Also, on
anything,
nail clippers, they have that little nail. I thought was it for like the
cleaning out the cuticles. We won't have time for that.
No, if things get wedged in your tie, you can pop them out with that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's a good idea. My tweezers actually have gone missing. Where are they? Are they in the bike bag?
Does it look like I've used your tweezers?
Not really. It looks like you need to use them though.
Right.
Anyway, we'll finish off with the moan minute. So you can moan about anything you want for 1 minute. We always do this every week because it's a bit of a laugh really, to be honest. It's the only real reason. And it's good for you to get your moans out because you do feel good after doing it. Well, I do anyway. You can go first, Kyle.
Got it.
Let me get the clock up for you. 1 minute timer. 3, 2, 1, action.
My moan minute is people taking up the whole corridor at an airport and walking at snail pace because they're not in a rush. And they think, oh, we've got all the time in the world, so we'll back everyone up behind us. And you can't get past them. You're trying to get your case, trying to get around security, or you're trying to do something, and they're just walking dead slow. That really grinds my gears. Just have a bit of spatial awareness. Move out of the way. Check your mirrors. See what's around. Do you know what I mean? Just have a little bit about you. Be considerate of others. That really annoys me when people can't be considerate. They're just in their own little world. Oh, we'll just take up all the room, or drag a suitcase to the left, drag one to the right, we'll take up the old corridor. We won't move to the side on the escalator. That's my moment.
Well done, Kai. You actually had 12 seconds left. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to moan about?
No, not really.
I do kind of agree with you on that because there was this one family, but they just stopped dead in the middle of the of the walkway thing, and then everyone was just stuck behind them. I was like, you've got no idea.
I'm not just aiming this at people, kids. I'm just aiming this at
No, there's
people that have got
numerous people.
It just boggles me how people haven't got spatial awareness. Like, you are taking up so much room and you do not care. I'm really mindful of it when I'm walking.
Yeah.
When I'm in places, I'm thinking, I don't want to get in people's way.
Yeah.
And some people, I wish I was more like them, to be honest.
What, didn't know?
Just didn't know and didn't care and just took every bit of space up I can. Right, let's have your main minute. Do you want me to put the timer on?
You can use this if you want.
What is it? Oh, that's fancy.
Timer.
Oh. Right, 3, 2, 1.
My moan minute is being a woman and the hormonal fluctuations in the month. Because I don't know if any other women listening to this have this, but the week before the time of the month, sorry for too much information, I feel awful to the point where Kyle breathing makes me feel annoyed. The rage that comes from within me for absolutely no reason is just, I don't even understand it. And then I can't sleep. Literally, go to bed, feel tired, can't sleep, wake up all through the night. My tummy goes like a football full of air, and it just feels horrible. And I'm just fed up of it, really, every single month. And then we have to deal with all of this, and it's just not fair. And what do men have to deal with? I just don't get it. Like, all this stuff is just rubbish. It's really annoying, and it's not fair. And that's what my moan minute is. I just want a month where you just feel nice all month and don't feel so angry.
Right, can I add something there?
Yeah.
I had this for your mum when we spoke about this the other day.
Yeah, because my mum agrees with me that it's not very nice.
And I also agree with this.
Because not only do we have to deal with this, right? No, hang on. We have to deal with monthly periods, yeah? All the fluctuations of that, the mood swings, the stomach ache, the actual fact that, the hunger cravings, the irritability, all of that, yeah? The embarrassment at school when it all starts. Then we have to give birth if we choose to do that, yeah? Push something out of us with pain. Then, oh no, it doesn't end. Carry on. Breastfeed if you want to. Your body all changes. Then you carry on with your periods until you hit the menopause. And then you have to go through all of that rubbish, which my mum's going through at the minute.
Right.
And it's just,
I had this conversation.
What do men have to do?
I have this conversation.
Whack it out.
Yeah, but
that's it.
This is the point, bit. This is what really grinds my gears. It always gets turned on the men saying, men don't get... We didn't choose this. I feel for you. I really do. And I wish I could take that pain away, genuinely, because then I'd probably hear less moaning. But your mum was saying it. She was like, you don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't. But I can't do anything about it.
We're not saying you can. No one's ever saying men can control that. We're just saying it's not fair.
Yeah, but we've always...
Do you agree it's not fair?
I think most men would agree it's not fair.
Thank you. That's all we need.
Yeah. I wish I could help you, but I can't.
You do not. Right, so if I said to you, okay then, let's share this out.
Yeah, of course I would.
1 month you can have the period and 1 month I can. You'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course I would.
No, you would not.
Yes, I would.
You'd take my period from me.
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah, because then I could have a go at you unnecessarily and get annoyed at you for breathing and get away with it.
Okay, do you want to take the childbirth as well?
No, you can have that one.
If we ever do.
Yeah.
If not, that's not...
No, you can firmly have that one.
Oh, thanks.
That's the one thing I don't want to take.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you...
And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I'm fully grateful I am a man.
Yeah.
But I do feel for you.
Thank you.
So all I'm trying to say to you and your mother is don't put this on me.
Because it's not fair.
Yes.
So that's my moan done.
And you do suffer
just
quite
basically
badly.
Being a woman, because I do suffer quite bad with this stuff. And
you do.
But I'm trying, this week, I've started a new revelation of trying to bring some calmness into my life. Because I feel like I've been quite stressed out recently, for not really particularly any reason. But I think that makes it worse when you've been stressed. So I'm going to try. I've been doing every day, no phone for an hour before bed and an hour after. An hour before bed and an hour of waking up.
Which also tries to put on to me.
Sometimes I say it'd be good for you to do too, because you're straight on your phone like a little leech as soon as the alarm goes off, lying in bed watching reels. And right up to bed, lying in bed watching reels.
Yeah, but I don't really go on my phone much, do I?
No, just straight before bed. It's the best time to go on it.
Yeah.
And then I've also been trying to start the day with a walk with Chester, which I do anyway, but not with my phone. No phone allowed. and
But Chester
more
appreciates
water
that,
as well.
he don't like his picture being taken.
He doesn't like his picture. He's very shy. And drinking lots more water, and also 10 minutes a day of mindfulness, which is basically where I just Google, Calm, the app.
Yeah.
They've got a YouTube channel, and I just click 10-minute mindfulness 10-minute meditation on YouTube. And it is a bit of a drag because you think, oh, this is going to be boring. And it is a bit boring. But
That's the idea.
Honestly, it makes you feel so calm after. It does a body scan. So you have to scan through your body and you deep breathe. And you just sit on the end of my bed and do that. And then I feel nice and calm.
I think I'm quite good, not bigging myself up here, but I'm quite good at being able to sit and look at a wall and not think about much.
I can't do that.
Yeah. But so when you say this mindfulness is boring, it's supposed to be really, because you're trying to relax your mind. Whereas I'm different to you in the sense of you say, like, sometimes you look at me and there's not,
I say, what's in your head?
There's not
and you
probably
say
a lot
nothing.
going on.
See, I've never had...
I can switch off.
That's what I mean. I've never had nothing in my head. I'm having conversations with myself constantly.
In fact, sometimes you're talking to me and I'm switching off.
The aim basically is to just be a bit more calmer this week. So I think that's going to be my tip this week for anyone listening, is to try and get some moments of calm every day, because sometimes we live our life like we're late for something and there's nothing to be late for. So just try and think, I'm not late for anything. I don't need to do this fast. I can calm down. I can deep breathe.
Something that makes me feel calm is looking at Chester.
Yeah, stroking your pet is really calming.
Because he never looks stressed.
And also, a really easy way to be calm, it sounds silly, is just take like 5 or 6 deep breaths in and out. Just focus on your breath, because that's just a really easy and free way to feel calm, but it's just remembering to do it. Anyway, Chester's come up to see us, which basically is him telling us he wants his dinner. So we're going to go now.
Yeah.
And on the next episode, we'll tell you exactly what route we're going to be doing when we go around the world, because we have got that sorted now. So that'll be the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it's been some use. We did waffle quite a bit, but Kyle's yawning now, so he's tired.
I need my
And
relaxation.
tonight we're having chicken dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
chicken
yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
What with?
Well, you're going to have chicken, mash, veg and gravy.
Oh.
Is that your favourite? I'm going to have chicken, sweet potato and veg with tomatoes, like a Mediterranean style.
Into the day, Chester?
Because you don't like the Mediterranean style, but I do. So I'm doing 2 separate.
It's okay. Right, let's go.
Okay, au revoir.
Adios.
Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.